Hello, Uta here with a late season marigold and a squashed last iris. It fell off the stem and I didn't notice and I sat on it. Oh well. And then we've got the Emery Paul dahlias back here, and of course those beautiful uh, let's see if I can get them more in the sun. I keep on trying to show you how beautiful and luminous they are, but and then of course the light, the contrast, you can't really see so well into my woods. I wanted to give you that, but I guess I have to get up early in the morning or something and do that. This is the end of the story about the accusation that I'm trespassing. I just remembered that a bunch of those same people, and I know and recognized one couple of two dudes who are in a family with an adopted boy that have that flag, the trans flag outside of their house. They did a rescue puppy. And the rescue puppy, within 1 hour of getting there to their big house that they have two cars at and 3 stories, and goodness, I don't know what their heating bill is. How do they have so much money? Anyway, so the dog got away within an hour. Somebody opened the door and the dog got out. And it's kind of funny because they just don't have control over anything, those particular people. There are plenty of really great two guy couples who raise children, and they can be really great parents, and I've taught some of their children, at least two sets of children, but these guys are really loosey-goosey. And so they decided that the puppy must have gone into my woods. And so those people who were accusing me of trespassing and having hateful, dangerous facts on pieces of paper so that they will possibly crack their fragile egg, their echo chamber egg of be kind always and don't talk about abusive trans widows. They apparently had some kind of chain of phones or phone calls or texts or something, and they had like dozens of people walking up for hour after hour into my woods to find this dog. And so actually they trespassed. And so I wrote a letter to the police about it, and this is what I did. I wrote these notes that I put in envelopes. And then to hold it down so it won't blow away, I put a carrot on top of it. And I put it on the road in front of their driveway so that it would be just a nice, completely innocuous, courteous note to say, I did have to mention to the police, you're trespassing on my property. And also, that flag is a little bit upsetting to some of us because this Roger Hogg, whose name is now Monica Helms, was a child sexual molester, and he's the one who designed that blue and pink and white striped flag. And then I gave them the GenSpect channel name. I figured that's probably what they can handle right now. And I also gave them Redux, REDUXX.org, which has all the Monica Helms dirt on it. And he was a real horrible person who was abusive to his wife and their children, and then left her, I think without finances. And now he's with another man like himself who pretends to be a woman, and they are taking in vulnerable underage foster kids. I think it's in Georgia. But anyway, so that's the update on that. And, I do really, I do really recommend that you print some things out with basic information. You could get it off of my utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com, and post it in public places. Don't be in your face like I was with people with those flags and signs and stuff, but just put go after dark, put it up. I even used to sneak some information into the shelves in grocery stores so that the workers could find it. I just am trying to make some little cracks in the echo chamber of be nice because we need you for our narcissistic fuel. And so that leads us right into the excerpt that I'm going to read to you from my next book, TransWidow's the TransWidow Chronicles, and subtitle Leaving and Healing. So the question that they were answering here is, was it a discovery or his revelation? I discovered in a cupboard a dress from Dorothy Perkins, a pair of ladies' shoes in a large size, and a letter from Nat West with 2 credit cards. One in the name of Elizabeth H. Elizabeth was my mother's name. I showed him the clothes. All he said was, "It's true, I'm a transsexual." I waited weeks for him to add more information, but he didn't. He left 3 months later. And, in a mock rage, slamming doors, July 2006, right before their son's 12th birthday. I do hope the son is growing up to be a wonderful young man who is supportive of his mother. Now, Rex Landy has requested to have it under her name. She lives in New Zealand now, but had been in the UK, in London, I guess, and then Scotland. She said, I discovered, she calls it this, the suitcase of considerable delusion under the bed one day. Because I'd moved from London to Scotland, I was effectively homeless if I moved. I was 3 months pregnant at the time. I knew he liked role play from time to time. He'd kept it buttoned up tight before I moved in. Thank you, Rex. Another woman says, I found out he'd listed himself on a fetish community a few weeks before I left. A friend of mine belonged to the same community. A friend of mine who belonged to the same community, a fetish community. Find new friends. Was so shocked when she saw him listed. She showed me his profile and he was dressed as a woman. He had a vastly inflated sense of his attractiveness, for sure. Of course, I was in shock. I left a few weeks after. And yet, I think this is somewhere in Canada. We have quite a few Canadian trans widows. I knew nothing about his cross-dressing and etc. for the first 15 years of our relationship. Then one day he wrote me a letter explaining he liked to wear women's panties and nightgowns because of the soft, silky material, as if there was no, silk men's boxers and things, which of course there are. And it was, he said, no big deal. He wasn't gay or anything. He just liked the feeling. Looking back now, there were a few clues, but nothing he couldn't explain. Oh, let's see. And from somewhere else in the world across the pond. My children's father recently disclosed that he is transitioning to a woman. I'm devastated for my children and feel as though they're losing their father. Some people feel as though I'm being dramatic because they haven't lost him, but they have. My son no longer has his dad. Okay, and this is the last I'm going to read for this video. He dressed as a female on a Halloween outing, and a year later I discovered more women's clothing. He said they were for the next Halloween costume, since we had so much fun. At the same time, I found phone calls to a woman out of state. Oh, goodness. That's enough for now. Back out to my bulbs. You do take care. Don't get yourself in trouble with the law.